We are in here at Jackson Brown's studio.
Broadway, are you still going to do tracks from home? Absolutely. I've got about 5 songs I have to do from home, and it's just things are crazy. There's so much I'm trying to deal with. And what is the best mix on a demo tape when you track at home? Most of the people that have been sending me stuff have just been sending me a WAV file generally with. I mean, it's nice if they send me a couple of things where, you know, I can have like a drum track and then a vocal and a keyboard or guitar, whatever they're using. And if they're cutting to a click, you know, please give me the click. But a number of people have just been sending me just a WAV file of what they've got, and then I'm just trying to figure out how to fit into it. That's a little more challenging that way. But it's nice to have at least a couple of stems where you can mix it a little yourself. There's some things that I really don't need to hear if I'm doing a bass part. I'll listen to it when I'm figuring the song out, but then after that, I don't really need that in there. Ooh, let me see a couple of things. Oh wait, Sean, go stir the stroganoff. No, that's not the start of a joke. It's great. Did you make significant changes to your bass sound during the synth bass 80s? Great question. That's really great. I actually really didn't change that much of my sound. I got called a great deal to replace synth bass parts, and they wanted something more organic and real. Some of the playing might have been a little bit different, or I would tend to use sometimes like a Boss OC2 octave divider to give a little bit more of a synthy sound, if that's what they still wanted to have, was something like that. One of my favorite sounds is playing a fretless with an octave divider and a little bit of foam in the strings just to deaden the overtones so that the thing really doesn't glitch. It reproduces the octaves really, really well. Let me see. Broadway show, how do I approach a track with synth bass already recorded? Well, first off, number one, you have to find out whether or not they intend to keep the synth bass and want you to do something in addition to it. Or if you're replacing the synth bass, then you determine kind of what the essence of that synth bass part is that they're liking, and you try to do something, you know, it's real subjective when you're doing that because you're not quite sure how close to synth they want to be. Because there's been times where they've said, oh, you know, we'd like to, and I kind of look at them and I go, you know, you've already got something great on there with the synth. You know, why are we even doing this? Because there are times when a synth bass is perfect for a track, but it already kind of really comes down to individual songs and interpretations, how the producer or the artist feel about it. So we do that. Niko's going to talk to you while now. Read this.
Read that.
Read that.
All right.
I'm going to grab my salad and then I'm going to spill it on my beard.
Hi.
Be nice.
Be nice. I'm trying to breed. How is everybody? I work for Lee. I record him. I wish you guys were here. We're having a good time. We're cutting unbelievable tracks. It's loud as shit in my control room, which is the way it's supposed to be. On the Weather Report webinar. I worked for Weather Report. The record after the hat. Oh, what kind of compressor do I use on Lee's bass? I don't use a compressor on Lee's bass, to be honest. Very rarely do you need to do anything.
Have you pissed everybody off?
What's the bass with the fan frets?
Dingwall.
Dingwall on
Dingwall.
that bass. If you just take it flat through a good mic pre, you're done. Because it's intonated so well and the pickups are adjusted so well that the level stays linear and you get the same note value as he plays, so it sits fine. Oh, thank you, Houston. That's cool. What kind of compressor do I use on Lee's bass? I don't use a compressor on Lee's bass, to be honest. Very rarely do you need to do anything.
Have you pissed everybody off?
What's the bass with the fan frets?
Dingwall.
Dingwall on
Dingwall.
that bass. If you just take it flat through a good mic pre, you're done. Because it's intonated so well and the pickups are adjusted so well that the level stays linear and you get the same note value as he plays, so it sits fine. What's my favorite way to record drums? Good drummers.
Naked.
Yeah, naked. Good drummers is the secret to good drum sounds. But the simplest thing and the best thing that I do is no compression in the mix, very rarely on lead. If I do, I will ghost with either an LA2A or some new tube thing, but mostly for the tube compression, not for any actual limiting. Good drummers, yeah, that's the answer. Let's see, what else do we have here? Never compress Leland without his permission. So says Leland. I've never had to ask because I never use one.
He doesn't talk to me.
I try not to talk to him. Ice hates the compressor. Oh, Lee hates the compressor. Lee hates everything.
I hate everything, but I love you.
What kind of microphone do you use for the bass? Anything that's got a large diaphragm. And the secret is when you mic, if you're going to take the DI and the amp, you want to mic the amp speaker as close as possible, because the waveform is so big that if you mic further away from the grill cloth, you're going to get cancellation. You'll get this lumpy sound in the bass. So that's the only amp that I mic up close. And usually, if it's a condenser, I'll use a big one. You know, the capsules are like the size of a quarter. Or you can be as simple as a 421, just a big capsule, because it's low frequency. When did I meet Leland? 1978? Mm-hmm. 78. Let's see here. Has Lee ever used the producer switch when he was working with me? Yeah. Oh, yeah, pretty much every time I've worked with him. Any preference for makeup? How does Leland's amp stack up with an Ampeg like the one there? I like this better because his amp is better because it has a horn, so you can move your microphone in a range from the edge of the horn to only the speaker to determine how much high frequency you want coming out of the amp, depending on how hard he drives it. Have you ever used Royer mics? All the time. They're fantastic. They're good. The only problem is that if you stack up too many of them, you have to remember they're figure 8, and you wind up with a lot more room pumping in the sound. So you have to be very selective where you place them. But as ribbons go, they're excellent. What are the best non-buzz guitar bass chords? Haven't got a clue. SM57, they record so well they don't call. The good thing about an SM57 is that they all sound pretty much the same, and you can always use them to hammer nails into a wall and hang pictures. The stuff that I'm most proud of that I produced, a lot of the Neil Young stuff I've done, the Don Henley stuff a million years ago. Lately, the Mavericks, this band in Nashville, I've done about 6 albums with them. What kind of speakers do you prefer for bass? I think it's hard to get a good sound out of a 15-inch. You're correct. I like small amps, and I like small guitar amps too. They sound much bigger. How am I miking Leland's amp? Today I'm using Sennheiser 421, and I'm right on the edge of the horn, mostly the paper on the speaker.
And
but
DI.
And a little bit of DI depending on the song. Love the Mavericks. Me too. Do you also not use much compression while tracking at all? No, I don't. I very rarely use compressors, and I very rarely use equalizers. Well, this is yours. Wonderful to meet you all. I hope you guys have a great evening. Lots of love. See ya.
The best, man. That's great. That's great. Niko is just amazing. He's so knowledgeable about what he does, but it's not. There's some guys that are like that and that are so pretentious and so tedious, and he's just a great hang. I love being with him, and it's been decades. Okay, I am going to hit stop streaming, and I'm going to go to work. So, all my best. I love. This is what I want for the future. Oh, yeah. I'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Okay, bye-bye.
The lamps are low all down my street. Moon in the cracks, boots on my feet. I walked a man close to the wall. Oh, till it closes down. He yells last call. 3:45 coming through. I got to start thinking about you. About you. take a breath, 2 years go by. Everything changes, everything dies. I get caught up in the yesterday. Oh, maybe tomorrow they'll fade away. 3:45 coming through. I got to stop thinking about you. 3:45 coming through. I got to stop thinking. Oh, I got to stop thinking. Oh, I got to stop thinking about you. About you. Oh, about you.
Personally, I can take it or leave it.